Meanwhile, we've got a game. Here it is. It's the second round of the losers bracket, so it's the third game today for these two coaches. The winner of this match is still alive to play tomorrow morning in the second session, and the loser is done. It's Kolian with a lizard men, who will be on offense in the rain against Dionysian's Khemri. Is Hail Mary's kick going to be carrying the ball, assuming he can pick it up? Looks like that may be the plan. Not something you want to be relying on in the rain, but I haven't seen anybody play with Hail Mary pass in such a long time. It's always been a skill that's been a kind of a favorite of mine, not because it's good, but because it's funny. It does mess with your opponent, though. I mean, you've got to take it into account. Oh, and for the second time today, we're seeing a super short kick into a perfect defense. You're gonna get a couple of big old Tomb Guardians on the ball. They both have guards stand firm. So if that ball scatters and stays right in this area, if it ends up in this square or something, this would be a fucking nightmare. It's gonna be hard. There is a 3 in 8 chance, of course, that it just scatters up into the wrong side of the field for a touchback, and a touchback is super huge for Kolian. That's exactly what he's praying for, because then he wanted to make a pickup in the rain. So we got our first non-dice event of the game. No dice happened, and instead of getting a free pickup on your ball carrier, such as he is, ball's in 2 tackle zones of strength 5 guard stand firm men. So, sorry, Kolian, it's not a fair game. You just got fucked. How do you position your guard? Well, again, you've got lots of guards, so they're everywhere. Not blitzing anybody up here. Is he just going to try and hope for a 5+ pickup? 6+ pickup? I guess it's 50-50 to have the ball scatter back to your side of this big wall of large strength players. And of course, there's a 1 in 6 chance it works. This position is so bad that I don't even hate going for the unlikely thing. Well, you're dead, and because of decay, you're also missing next game, and you're not regenerating. So there's our second non-dice event of the game. Dionysian will be playing 16 minimum turns with 3 Tomb Guardians. And there's our third non-dice event of the game. 6+ pickup, why not? Like I said, I think it's probably not a bad play to go for, really. You're not expecting it to work, but you're expecting half the time the ball is going to scatter somewhere where it's much better. You can't just leave it there, right? So go for the 6+ pickup. And, they do work sometimes. And Kolian got an ideal result out of what looked like a really shitty position to start with. Unfortunately, no, he did not pick the ball up with his Hail Mary pass skink, so he may have to hand off later. Khemri pretty slow. One thing he could try, if you're Kolian and you're really being rowdy, take this skink on your next turn, run him all the way back here where he's safe, and then take this skink, run him all the way back here and hand off. And then a few turns later, you've brought everybody back to the middle of the field, and then your Hail Mary pass guy has got the ball in the backfield where you want it. Or these two coaches can just throw haymakers at each other for 8 turns. as if it was some kind of wrestling simulation. Yes, we found 16 really good Blood Bowl coaches, asked them to recreate themselves in BB2, and we got some lizards and some khemri. And it's been a wild start so far on this one. Yeah. Khemri can be a handful to deal with when you get 2 levels on all of your Tomb Guardians. Guard Stand Firm on 2, Guard Mighty Blow on a 3rd, and a Guard Dead on the 4th one. So he's not as effective anymore, but still a 3rd Guard Stand Firm. Pretty nice. It gets piled on into some death. Dio does not have an Apo because, well, khemri. Kolian does. He's also got +1 on the fame. Doesn't really help when you roll double skulls. And no bench. Dio's got some spare players. Looks like 13. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, dead, 12, 13. Yeah, so he's got 13 players. That's plenty. None of the skeletons have any skills. That probably won't stop him from fouling if he wants. I don't know if it's a great idea to foul a Saurus like this with, a couple of assists, or alright, whatever. But at the moment, the skinks are pouring through your line. And you probably don't want to dedicate half your team to fouling a guy over here. Well, he's just running right the fuck through. Doesn't care. Who can get back? I mean, this guy... Well, this guy stands up, gets out of the way. Never mind, there's a Saurus covering it now anyway. Alright, so you're pretty safe. I guess you go for a quick score. I don't know. As long as it continues to rain. Khemri in the rain are famously difficult. You're playing with agility 2, and yeah, you got sure hands, but still a 5+ pickup to get the ball with sure hands is, it's a little better than 50-50, but those fail pretty frequently. And you've got some fast skinks that can threaten the ball. Maybe you just go for a quick score here and try and win 2-0 in the first half. Because if you go up 2-0 in the first half, the game's basically over. Dio is always going to have trouble this game dealing with all the crazy skink threats. And of course, he lost a Tomb Guardian on turn 1, so he's behind, let's say. And right, with Lizards, they're just 11 players. They don't have a bench. Who've lost 1 skink already. He starts to suffer attrition. You could run into problems. So maybe just straight up going for a quick score here and a 2-0 first half. Not a bad plan. This guy can't really palm anybody. He might have to double GFI to get the Hail Mary skink. Dio might go for that. I don't think you re-roll it if you fail a GFI, but yeah, go for it. You get to palm a skink. And you get to palm Hail Mary skink. And Hail Mary comes with some extra free armor, and Dio gets nothing. You know, maybe if you're Dio, you're thinking my best hope here is to kill all the skinks. Just kill the skinks? Is that on the bingo card yet? Because that probably should be. That Crocs is now boneheaded twice in a row, so he's just standing around doing nothing. But I guess if you're just going to walk in and score, it really doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to score. It's fine. You can't really protect him. So you're kind of forced into that plan. Whether it's a good plan or a bad plan, I think it's an alright plan. But the point is, you really didn't have any other alternatives at that point. You kind of crossed all your bridges and then set them on fire. So Dio's back up to 11 because he's got a whole bunch of team. Kolian will be counterattacking with 10. But again, big loss. We only have 3 Tomb Guardians. I can tell you, my experience is playing Khemri, you want 4. Game becomes pretty tricky with 3, especially when you're facing lizard men. With they're only strength 4 against 5, but they've got you outnumbered now 7-3 in the strong guy department. Kickoff return doing its thing, and Kolian will get an extra reroll to be sassy, but just rolls a 6 to catch the kick. So that's victory for the Khemri. Now they've got the ball in the hands of a strength 3 man, and the Lizard's first hope is evaporated. They still have the men to get through and sack him if he's not careful. But that's just more work that you have to do to score again. Yeah, we've seen both teams roll a 6 to get the ball in their hands. So rain has been a non-factor. I mean, it's been a worry, but it hasn't been the cause of any failures yet. And this seems safe enough. You got to be wary. There's a break tackle wrestler. This guy is one who be a candidate for some kind of dive, but it's not going to happen here. You could try this dodge, and then you'd have to make another one. If you roll a 6, that'd be cool. But it's, I think, too early to try anything. And you don't want to come in from this direction, because that is even harder to dodge. Dora's getting push bombed. So somewhere around here, if you're Kolian, you have to start thinking about changing gears, and maybe not so much the 2-0 first half, but try and keep it to 1-0. Because if Dio is able to march down the field and score, that's a huge disaster. I mean, granted, you still have the same chances in the second half to try and turn them over. But you'd rather be trying that when you're 1-0 up than when you're tied. The ball's going to get base here, and that's pretty good for the Lizards. The Tomb Guardians are not free. You got to dedicate 3 small guys to blitzing him off, and that doesn't leave a lot of people free to protect the ball afterwards. kolian just basing everybody. And it's going to cause Dio some problems. I think I might have liked to keep this guy a little free, but I don't hate just basing everybody either. Alright, even the stunties are going to run around and come through and base people. So Dio's got a lot of blocks, but no obvious way to get the ball safe. This block this way means one of these Tomb Guardians can take a block, and that frees the other one to blitz the Saurus. So far, so obvious. If you do that, you come through, you blitz him, you follow, then you still have the ball in a cage. It's based by a couple of guys, which is not ideal. Hitting from this direction means there's a chain, so one of these skinks is going to get pushed off too. The arm break is big, means he can't do anything later. So there's not such point to doing anything with this guy. Kolian can more or less do the same thing again if he wants. You can get the Crocs to behave. You can just tuck them in here. This is just a big old mess. One die blocks, not likely to succeed a whole lot. This time they do. That's pretty big. Knocking that guy down and away, it means it's going to be a little harder for these guys to get blocks later on in return. And just more one dice, because you got to get these guys off and not let all the Saurus block you. Sooner or later, something's going to go wrong with that, but that's 4 in a row, and you survive them. Probably had to try them all. It's just not desirable. So keep everybody tied up. Continue to base people. Blitzing this guy out of the way means you're free to stand up and base somebody else around the cage. Yeah, you'll base him a couple of times. And Dio's going to have the same problem. A lot of people to get rid of, and not a lot of people to do it with. This is one die. If this guy has a one die, these guys can't do much because they're only skeletons. And sooner or later, this is all just going to collapse in on the khemri. He did a solid job getting a safe enough cage last turn, but he's got even worse problems this one. You probably can't get all these people off of you. And even if you do, I mean, all you've done is buy yourself another turn. Certainly no progress to be made. So you do what you can. You go try and kill a skink. Tackle on that one. You might have to pile on, even though you'd really love to have this guy standing. Because you gotta kill all the skinks. He's thinking about it. And yeah, he's decided he really has no choice. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You need to block all these guys and have them all die, and then potato. Oh, hello there, everybody from Mr. James Fantastic's channel. We're watching the third game of the day. This is Dionysian with Lizardmen and Kolian. I'm sorry, Dionysian with Khemri and Kolian with Lizardmen. This is an elimination match. The loser's out. The winner is still alive in the lower brackets for tomorrow morning. Kolian received and scored very quickly with his skinks and is now completely swarming Dio's cage. And is more likely to go 2-0 up at halftime and then be tied. Big problem for, well, this is Kolian's injury box. He's lost a skink. He only has 11 players, so everyone counts. Dio's got a 13-man team, but had a Tomb Guardian die and not regen on turn 1. So he's playing the whole match here in the rain with 3 Tomb Guardians. He's hanging on grimly. But yeah, you don't see Dio being able to score very likely here. Yeah, Kolian is just gonna continue to base everybody. There were only 3 Tomb Guardians, so he can get away with that. And it's currently 10 against 10, but it doesn't feel like it. It's one of those games where it seems like the Lizard Men are just fucking everywhere. And there's nowhere for Khemri to go, really. Nice. You know, 1 die there because of guard to shove the ball carrier back. He's now in contact with a couple of guys. These guys can get cleared, right? That's Tomb Guardian who can hit him, and that's only a skink. But still not easy to see how or where Dio can go. Hail Mary Pass skink is still hanging out in the backfield here. Hello, Mr. Satterfield. I am going to ignore that request. Time is starting to tick down. It's turn 6 now. If Kolian wants to score, he's going to have to get the ball on the ground pretty quickly. But he's got good chances of that. And really, the way this offense has gone, you can kind of see, even if Kolian doesn't score, he can pretty much do the same thing for his defense in the second half. It's tricky. If this is the stun, it's pretty good. Because then he can try and go straight up the middle. It's even better than a stun. That is a major threat for sacking the ball, that great tackle man. So instant power Apo to keep him around. But he's going to be stunned on his next turn, so it's going to be probably a little bit too little too late to use him next. This guy's free to move and come up here. You can throw some blocks down here, clear this guy. This is now a 2 dice block because ball carrier assist. You can get this guy out of the way and you can bring him up here and then just run up here and hope. That's maybe all you have, and really, if you're Dio, I guess that's acceptable from this position. Sorry, Jim. I'm never wearing clothing. Gonna have to ignore that request. But yeah, all of a sudden, Dio seems like he's in okay shape. These two skinks are a little too far away to get into useful positions. This is a guy who maybe come around and hit the ball, but you need assists. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that. You can run up the middle and hope for a zillion 3+s to all work. That might be where you're at now, which is kind of a shame. If you're the lizard men, I think you'd really like to have things go a little better from where you were a turn or two ago. So very well played by dionysian. He's created some problems. And yeah, you know, the lizard man answer to this sort of thing is often just make a million 3+s because stunty. This guy can come around, but he's not quite fast enough to get all the way to where the ball is. That's a shame. Okay, he's just going to blitz him free and then base the ball. And 0 for 2 on regen. That's not what you want, but Theo does have a 13-man team. He's based the ball, but you know, this guy can just dodge away if he has to, and he might have to. All right, is this guy gonna do some stunting magic? Probably not. I feel like this is a little more conservative than the stuff I was looking at. It's probably better. All right, just hang out over here where you're safe and technically also a scoring threat. So kolian giving himself a chance to score here. How do you get this guy free and safe? Not easily. Not easily at all. You can make this block to free him. That gets a skeleton up here, who could then 2 dice one of these skinks. Can't get rid of both of them, but you could 2 dice one. If you get him out of the way, then you have a more reasonable dodge at least. Maybe that's it. This guy's also free. Ooh, can you set up a chain? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single GFI here. And then this player blitzes this way. Chain the Hail Mary pass guy somewhere, or chain yourself to this square. Either way, that also kind of sets up a better dodge damage. Maybe what he's going to do is blitz the ball carrier free. I mean, that also sort of accomplishes all the same things. All right, and then you just hope the dodge works. Yeah, and dodge works. And the GFIs work. And the GFIs don't work. I like the appeal of this GFI. It makes it harder for him to get pushed somewhere badly. But these two skinks can both reach without much trouble. This source is not going to break tackle out because he doesn't have break tackle and he can't get there anyway. This one has a few too many tackle zones to get through. Maybe you can 1 dice him away and... Whoa, look at that. That is a removal that I was Croxgore while I was working out plans for this guy. This guy can't get there anyway, even if it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So maybe all you've got is bring both skinks back, 1 dice the ball. Yeah, finally got a regen, and that's a good one because he needed that guy. He'll have him back shortly. I guess you base him. You have a GFI eventually to base this guy. And then even if your one dice doesn't work on the ball, you'll have 2 skinks basing him, so he'll still have to do something. You know, maybe the worst thing he'll have if this doesn't work is a 1 dice blitz free. Alright, push there. Yeah, you gotta blitz yourself free. 1 die for a push, you follow, and then you have a dodge. So 1 die for a push is 3+, and the dodge is 4+ with a reroll. So it's what? 3/4 of a 66. So it's about 50-50. Nobody else can really get back or do anything. So I guess Dio 50-50 to score. That's better than I think we would have predicted 3 or 4 turns back. All right, blocked. So he's got that. Now he has to dodge. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and score. And my 50-50 estimate is actually a little worse because the both down was fine there. All right, so it was probably more like 60%. So it worked out pretty well. Dio, there were no dice. He didn't roll any. He just scored. So there you go. 1-1 at halftime. Let's see how the KOs go. It looks like the Croxagore stayed out. And we'll be defending with Lizardmen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. And Khemri, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Khemri have a full team, so they're 4 players up and on offense. Oh man, all of a sudden that looks a lot better for the Khemri, doesn't it? I mean, kolian went hard at the ball to try and force a win in the first half, and now he's just in a lot of fucking trouble. All right, he's down to 1 skink. Hail Mary skink is done for the day, so we won't get to see any Hail Mary passing. He's without a Croxagore, so that hurts. He still has all 6 Saurus against 3 Tomb Guardians, but you know, can't do the same sort of high pressure defense when he's 4 players down. Stunty magic is a lot harder to pull off when you only have 1 skink left. Imagine if you try to go for something that involves some dodges or whatnot with the skink and he gets killed. You got to protect the skink a little bit now, because if you lose him, then suddenly you have nobody who can pick up the ball. As long as it continues to rain, a Saurus pickup in the rain is a 6+. In an overtime format with rerolls, not very pleasant to contemplate. Yeah, 12 and 38 was not quite the odds of that play, but yeah, you make the dice rolls that really count, and it scores you a touchdown, and that makes a big difference. Everybody's protecting the ball. Yeah, I just don't hate it. What else are these skeletons going to do? I mean, you got your blocks. Well, I guess if you push a guy, then you know maybe you're saving a blitz on this fellow. Maybe you just don't even blitz. You could do it as a reposition. All right. Just push another guy, then you blitz this guy free, and then the Tomb Guardian a couple squares this way. I don't know if that makes a difference. It doesn't really help a whole lot. Probably fine where he is. So you just don't blitz. All right. You figure it might take a couple of turns to pick the ball up. So Riot is not a great kickoff event for the Khemri. You could easily fail this pickup 2 or 3 times, and then suddenly you just don't have enough turns to march all the way down the field and score. Maybe for kolian, all you do is just wait around. Right? You got a blitz, you got to knock down the Tomb Guardian. He's going to stand firm because he's got those awesome skills, and you're not going to hurt him, but you knocked him down at least. And you just stay back and wait. kolian has predictably rejected that plan and is instead going to pour guys into the backfield. Not a huge fan of doing all that, just because he only has 1 skink left, and there's no place you can put him where he's safe. Well, I guess you can do that, right? I mean, I don't know if that accomplishes anything. If you want to win the game, you got to pick the ball up with that skink. Maybe you play for overtime. Hope that hope your Crocs comes back. Hope you still have this guy. Hope you win the toss. Yeah, Hero Skink is dead. So are Rookie Skink and Rookie Other Skink. kolian is playing with 1 skink and is 4 players down on defense. Yeah, again, time likely to be a factor. We had a Riot to start the first half. We had a Riot to start this half, which is not the first half, as I think most of you are pretty clearly aware. Dio needs to get the ball in his hands. Easier said than done. And he has a long way to go. And you can see the wisdom of him pulling his whole team back. He's got to keep the ball safe while it's still on the ground, and that could be a while. Yeah, in the meantime, just palm some people. It's not like you're going to get fouled if you're on the ground. Now Dio decides not to bother. He also decides to fail the pickup again. Not a good choice. But yeah, that's going to happen. I mean, he's failed it 4 times in a row, right? Technically. He's failed 4 dice rolls in a row, but they're all 5 pluses. So it's the odds of that happening are what, like, I don't know, 30-35%-ish to fail that twice in a row. Yeah, probably low 30s, something like that. Yeah, I don't agree with that decision. If there were dice involved, then maybe, sure, I would understand because, you know, you roll some dice, sometimes they fail. But since there aren't any, you should definitely just pick the ball up. One of these Saurus one day is going to make a 6+ pickup on this ball and score. And now I guess it's time to try and bring the skink down. You might get him blitzed, but it's only a skeleton. Dio really can't afford to just blitz this guy for attrition right now. He's got other problems on his plate. He's got to deal with this Saurus on the ball. And sure, he's got a blitzer right there, but he needs multiple assists. Maybe this guy can come through, go there, right? And then you just block him. There we go. Always makes me feel smart when I'm watching Dio play and I say, this is what he's going to do, and then he does it. Not like it wasn't an obvious thing to do, it just felt pretty nice. Now, he picked the ball up. and you can maybe even potato up this way. Not even a really potato. You're just because there's nobody else to protect him. You just pick the ball up and run. So yeah, Dio, don't fail this pickup. You need the ball here. Yeah. No, that was the attrition blitz. He didn't even re-roll that with the ball right there. So that's ballsy. I mean, it's not like the lizard men are going to pick it up. So even both down, all right, sure, right? Because now you've stopped the only ball handling threat from getting to where the ball is. But you're starting to run out of time. Yeah, that doesn't help, but I guess you can scatter it again if you want. You take this block. What you're hoping, I guess, is the ball bounces its way out into here somewhere. Can't quite reach it, but he can at least get up and get close. This poor skeleton stunned himself, so he's not going to be able to come back and do anything about the skink being here. And yeah, you're not planning to pick the ball up with the skink this turn, so you just get him down here where you want the ball to be. And then you hope that since there are no dice, the game just decides to hand you... nope, didn't do it. Didn't get the scatter he wanted, but that's, still alright. Coin, you're not in any immediate danger of scoring, but, Dio still has some serious issues. He's got a 1-die block to get this source out of the way. Maybe he can 1-die blitz with the ball carrier afterwards to push this guy out of the way. Comes up, you have to do it this way. You can 1-2 push forward, pick the ball up, 5-6. You don't really get very far, but you get far enough away from the bad people here. All right, yeah, he's going to free a skeleton. This one. This frees the Tomb Guardian as well. So maybe the Tomb Guardian comes up over here, or comes down here actually. So this is 2 dice. And base this dude. If something goes wrong next turn for the lizard men, then you get palmed. But you're still counting on a 1-die at the end here. Alright, so the block here to get him out of the way. Then this 1-die gets him out of the way, and then you pick the ball up, run up here, and nobody can get to you. Where's the break tackle man? He's here. You probably want to push him on there, but you can't because that's where the ball is. There's a second break tackle one somewhere. He's on the ground. He's not going very far. So you roll some non-dice and they work, and you're great. And you put it off as long as you can, and there's the 1-die, and it's a knockdown. So last chance probably to pick the ball up, because if you don't get it this turn, you're not going to have time to walk all the way to the end zone. And he's failed it again. So, what's kolian got? This is probably your best scoring threat at this point. Because with 3 turns, you might have enough squares. You'd have to do a bunch of GFIs. I think, yeah, I was going to say, you blitz this guy, get him out of the way. Skink comes in, tries to snatch the ball in the tackle zone. Now he's just going to stunty it. Yeah, at least your skink isn't getting palmed. But he is probably getting knocked down. This guy has to run up here. He's the last guy who could be a scoring threat. So it's going to be Skeleton Rainball, and Dio has now failed 3 straight short hands pickups, which is kind of the Khemri Rain nightmare. Yeah, just going to 3 dice the skink and get nothing out of it. 1 in a zillion. What's that? 27 times 27 is 1 in 656 to turn that over. I was thinking you just bring the Tomb Guardian as an assist so you can make a block 3 dice with this other Blitz Raw, who is free. It would tie up another player. But you've protected yourself from the 1 in 656. There were no pushes or knockdowns on this dice. Now, if you're kolian, how rowdy are you feeling? Do you try this? Just pick it up 6+, and then stunty right through? Looks like he does. Because kolian's a pretty rowdy coach. Scatter's alright. If you're Dio, you gotta keep moving this guy farther forward because you're hoping to throw past him on turn 16. Assuming you pick it up on turn 15. I might be thinking about just giving up hope on that play. Bring another skeleton down here, stand you up, and foul this guy on with like 4 or 5 assists. Maybe this is what he's going to do. Because if you remove that skink, your chances are excellent. And that's what he's doing. Look at how smart I am. I'm a fucking genius. Only a stun, though. I might try that again on turn 16, even if I do pick the ball up. You got to be careful of this guy, too. He's got break tackle. So you finally pick the ball up, but you can't get really far. If you go up this way, he has a break tackle shot at you. DFI, no good. I'd save that reroll. I would just give up on this. And plan for fouling that guy again on turn 16 and then hoping for overtime to go well. Yeah, you definitely fouled turn 16 right now. Sorry, all you guys who think a turn 16 foul is not good. Not very nice. A little impolite. This is one of those situations where it's not a bad play. And did he have to make that GFI? I mean, all it does is force break tackle man to do an extra GFI. Maybe if he's hoping to do 2 GFIs and get out of this guy's range. Remember, he was on the ground, so it was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we had to do 2 GFIs and get them both to work to get out of break tackle blitz wrestle range. Soros tried to be hero. It didn't work out for him. What that does mean is now there's really nothing for Dio to do but foul. I mean, then that was really always what was going to happen. I mean, you take some blocks, right? You got some 2 dice blocks. Those can't go wrong. But I might even just foul first because that's the most important thing. Is if you get rid of this skink, it's very, very difficult to lose. No, taking an assist away. I guess once this works, then this guy can come back. Or maybe he's even just going to try to pick up and throw. You know, it could work. Or you could just roll nothing but both downs. Man, these Tomb Guardians are having some troubles. That's the same guy who rolled the 3 into 3 turnover a turn or 2 ago. It does it again. He's just passed it no reroll for anybody because I'm going to burn them all. And yeah, that's Dio's last reroll going into overtime. You can easily see a game like this going to penalty kicks as well. I mean, the third half could go just like this one. Yeah, it's been a wild game, really. We opened with Tomb Guardian getting killed on turn one. The kickoff landed in like this square here and a perfect defense. So there were 2 Tomb Guardians with stand firm, marking the ball to start kolian's offense. He just walked in with a skink and made a 6+ pickup anyway. And it's just been crazy from there. Dio's score, actually not that improbable, but it was still pretty dicey. And it all worked out. Looks like the Khemri are going to be on defense. And it looks like the Kroxigor has declined to return to play. So kolian is still fighting with 7 guys, but this time he's on offense, so he's at least got something he can hope for. Tomb Guardians, there are 3 of them. Other than that, still an 11-man team for the Khemri. Yeah, Dio burnt some rerolls. Oh shit, I didn't update my title. I'm really sorry. I forget that pretty frequently because, I don't know. I'm pretty dumb about that. So apologies, Cornite. This was not a game that was happening anymore. It's kolian and Dio, and it's overtime in what's been a hell of a game. kolian with Lizardmen, 4 players down, but still hanging on, still has a skink. And that's probably his last skink. Nope, it's it's a KO'd source. So he's now 5 players down in overtime, but at least he's got first chance to pick the ball up. Yeah, I'm sorry that you're sad, Tom, but I'm going to ignore you. All right. Instant skill and removal means it's back to 4-man advantage. Okay, so there'll be enough skinks covering, not skinks, there'll be enough source covering things here. So you can probably afford to fail this pickup. You do have 1 reroll if you're kolian, so maybe you don't use it here. It's a 4+, of course, because it's been raining all game. Rain actually has turned into a factor. Dio failed several pickups on his second half offense, which led to him never getting anywhere, despite playing 11 on 7 for his entire second half drive. Just could not get the ball in his hands. Kind of a nightmare for Khemri. Yeah, kolian did not burn his last reroll there on the pickup, but he's going to have other chances probably. Normally, I would thank you for appreciating all my clever channel points usages, but I'm going to ignore that. I am going to step away from the mic for about 20 seconds just to get one last cup of coffee, because this is going to go on for a little bit, and it's pretty intense. I can also tell you that if you're tuning in late, that this is a loser's bracket elimination match. The winner of this game goes on to play in the second session tomorrow morning. The loser is done for the tournament. So a lot riding on what happens here. This will be the last game of the day, not just for me, but for the whole tournament. We'll pick up tomorrow morning. I don't have the exact time to hand, but we'll look that up after this match. It's something absurd, like 8 o'clock in the morning for me. So somewhere around 1200 UTC. It might be 1300. We'll definitely let you know what you have to look forward to. Sorry, Skuro, I am going to ignore you. The way Blitz Pit is structured, there's 2 or 3 games played on Saturday, and we're watching the third game for both of these coaches. And then that means 8 of the 16 coaches are eliminated on day 1. The other 8 move on to day 2. There's a morning session with 1 or 2 games, depending on how successful you are, and then an afternoon session for the final 4. I can acknowledge that I'm ignoring you. That's what I do. You've been ignored. Still having trouble picking the ball up. Obviously, it's tackle zones and rains and stuff. So as this goes on, I don't know. Probably favors khemri a little bit, because there's still only 1 skink, and sooner or later it's going to get knocked out. And the longer this goes on, the more likely that an opening will be created for a throw raw to sneak in and steal the ball. Kolian's best chance to win might actually be stalling this out for 8 turns and just having this go on until we all fall asleep. And then grimly holding on to his 1 reroll. He does have that 1 reroll advantage because Dio burned a couple of them late on some nonsense up here. If you go to penalty kicks with a 1 reroll advantage, you're almost a 2-to-1 favorite to win. So maybe that's your best option. That's where your win equity lies. Of course, it doesn't hurt to keep trying to pick up with the skink. Eventually, you'll roll a 6 and get it, and then stunt you away, or even just run down here somewhere where they can't catch you, and then run up here later. You can't do any fancy hands-offs and quick switcheroos because, again, only 1 skink. And I'd like to thank you all for repeatedly being ignored. Everybody who wants to be ignored can do so. Just hang out in the channel for a bit, and you will accumulate the necessary currency. He had an advantage in that one. I know Dio lost his first game on penalty kicks. I was not watching it though, so I don't know what happened. I was casting a different game at the time. Let's get the exact OT odds. That should tell you there. If you reroll down, your chance of winning is 32.3%. And that's the only number that's going to be relevant. That or 50-50 if Kolian does opt to use his reroll at some point. He knocked everybody down. He's got himself a 4+ pickup. That might be a reroll usage candidate, because if you pick it up, you can run out almost anywhere you want, really. And he's a little hard to catch up with. Especially if you get out here somewhere. These guys can't reach you. This guy's based. So there's a pretty strong temptation to reroll this. And he is going to. He's all in. We're going to have to take a look at the pickups just for both teams combined in this game. And yeah, rain has been a thing. That particular thing, the first one was a fail, but the second one would have succeeded in good weather. But these two teams are probably something like 2 for 15 combined picking up the ball. It's been pretty extreme. More than you would expect out of just a typical rain game. And yeah, khemri, sure, agility too. Kolian tried a couple of late hero pickups with Saurus in the rain as well. That's a 6+. I think about, do you knock this guy down? Because that is a blitz draw. Or do you just palm him? I think you might. Oh, last skink hanging on grimly to dear life. And getting nothing out of it. So this guy has enough movement to come all the way around to try and grab the ball here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if that all works, Dio's probably just going to win. I mean, he still has break tackle Saurus right there, who has got good odds to sack a ball carrier who does get the ball. So maybe if you do make this pickup, you got one more square movement, you take a step backwards. Or you can just fail it again. And fail the catch. And oh, he finally found a way to get the ball into somebody's hands. So well done, Skeleton. Somebody sooner or later had to roll a 6, and it's happened. What do you do here? Do you move the skink out of the way and then bet on break tackle? This is the other break tackle. I guess this is the guy who's going to do it. Right, so you knock him out of the way and then you blitz like this. That's probably the best move. And you rolled a 1. That might have been the last chance for the lizard men. Right. That skink's going to get knocked out of the way, and then enough people are going to get forward that you're never going to stop this guy. He's only a skeleton, he's only movement 5, it's going to take him a while. I would not be happy about having a GFI anywhere. So, I don't know, I guess, what do you go on? Come to this square? Maybe this one a little safer. This guy can't reach you. Well, he could with a break tackle, so you got to stop him from doing that, and that's pretty easy to do. You just put Tomb Guardian in the way. Probably take this skeleton, put him in the way too. So, been a hell of a game. A lot of props to Kolian, who's played really well. He's been men down for a long time, and has made it really difficult, but eventually Dio was able to get the ball. And it looks like too little too late. There's no more that the few remaining Saurus can do. Gonna foul that skink because he can actually do a thing. Little though it might be. KO takes care of that problem. Even a stun would have been fine. A send-off is fine. Yeah, it's been a wild one. And there you go. Kolian is just conceded, which is totally fine. Right, let's see. Statistics. Dice rolls, both teams, pickups, 2 successes, 16 failures. So that's not the sort of thing you expect to see on a regular basis. 2 out of 18. That you know what that is? That's another 1 in 9 for really this game. So yeah, that's how it goes. Eventually, the Dio did get the ball, not even through a pickup, but through rolling a 6 on a catch on a scattering ball after failing a pickup. So that's Blood Bowl.